The name Pendleton comes from a location in Lancashire, England, named Pendleton. The name comes from the word pen, meaning in Old English hill, and tun for town or settlement. Pendleton. The Pendletons were rooted in England 500 years before the name was transplanted to America. They emerged from the Crusades with a coat of arms for bravery. Old English churches abound in baptismal records of the family, and around Pendleton, England, are tombs of many generations of them. Philip Pendleton, a teacher, and his brother Nathaniel, a clergy, immigrated to America in 1674 from Norwich, England. Nathaniel died soon after their arrival, and Philip went back to England in 1680 due to his father's death. He then returned to Virginia in 1681 and started his family there. Maria Katharina Graf married Johann May, a shoemaker, on February 14, 1708, in Niederhausen, Germany. He died in Germany, and then she and their 5 children immigrated to America and settled in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, in 1748. They sailed their Atlantic journey on the ship Edinburgh. Thomas Higginbotham, born in 1710, immigrated from Barbados to Virginia in about 1730. Wilhelmine Ganger immigrated from Jastrow, Prussia, and settled in Joliet, Illinois in about 1848. John Franz Thies immigrated to America in 1851 from Antwerp, Belgium. The ship they came on was named the Bessel. They settled in Winfield, Kansas. Gottlieb Bicklund from Inner Turkheim near Stuttgart, Germany, immigrated to the United States in 1852 and settled in Burlington, Iowa. Philip Jacob Pauley and his wife Christina also immigrated from Inner Turkheim, Germany soon after 1852 and also settled in Burlington, Iowa. In 1851, at the age of 19, Theodore Poehler immigrated from Detmold, Germany and settled in Burlington, Iowa. His sailing vessel took 11 weeks to reach New Orleans, and then he took a steamboat to Burlington. William Hansen immigrated in 1871 from Germany and settled in Beaver Township, Cowley County, Kansas. Charles Herman Janke and his wife Johanna Kotke Janke, age 28, immigrated in 1884 from Poland and settled in Winfield, Kansas. The ship they came over on was named the Westphalia. Edmund Pendleton, 1721 to 1803. He apprenticed for the Carolina County Clerk of Court at age 13 and began practicing law at age 20. He was a delegate to the Continental Congress and a representative to the House of Burgesses. He was one of George Washington's attorneys. Edmund Pendleton is buried in front of the altar at Bruton Parish Episcopal Church in historic Williamsburg, Virginia. John Penn, 1741 to 1789. He was one of the founding fathers of the United States. He was elected to the North Carolina Provincial Congress starting in 1774 and was elected and served in the Second Continental Congress. He signed the Declaration of Independence, and he was also a signatory of the Articles of Confederation. Henry Pendleton, 1750 to 1789. He was a member of the Minutemen with his brother Nathaniel. After the Revolutionary War, he moved to South Carolina. He was an attorney and a judge The Pendleton district in South Carolina is named in honor of him. Nathaniel Pendleton, 1756 to 1821. He served in the Continental Army during the Revolutionary War, and then have a private law practice in Savannah, Georgia. He became the Attorney General of Georgia. Nathaniel was a delegate to the Constitutional Convention of 1787, which drafted the U.S. Constitution. He was a U.S. District Court judge for Georgia, and one of the more interesting facts that he served as the second to Alexander Hamilton in Hamilton's duel with Aaron Burr over the Federal Reserve System. Edmund Pendleton Gaines, 1777 to 1849, was a career U.S. Army officer and was named for his great-uncle Edmund Pendleton. Zachary Taylor, 1784 to 1850, was the 12th President of the United States. He was a career Army officer and made a name for himself as a captain in the War of 1812 and a general in the Mexican-American War. He was also the father-in-law of Jefferson Davis. Jefferson Davis, 1808 to 1889. He was the President of the Confederate States from 1861 to 1865. He was a U.S. Senator and a member of the House of Representatives for Mississippi, and was the U.S. Secretary of War under President Franklin Pierce. He married Sarah Taylor, daughter of President Zachary Taylor. William Nelson Pendleton, 1809 to 1883. He was a teacher, Episcopal priest, and a soldier. He became a Confederate general during the Civil War, and Camp Pendleton in Virginia Beach, Virginia is named in his honor. He graduated from the U.S. Military Academy at West Point. George Hunt Pendleton, 1825 to 1889. He was a U.S. representative and a senator from Ohio, known as Gentleman George for his friendly and understanding demeanor. He was nominated for vice president on the National Democratic ticket with McClellan in 1864. They lost the election to Abraham Lincoln and Andrew Johnson. During the Civil War, he emerged as a leader of the Copperheads, a group of Democrats who favored peace with the Confederacy. He was later in life president of the Kentucky Central Railroad and appointed the ambassador to Germany. George Hunt Pendleton was married to Mary Alice Key, the daughter of Francis Scott Key. The town of Pendleton, Oregon, is named in his honor. Stephen James Pendleton, 1831 to 1862. Killed at the Battle of Melbourne Hill on July 1st, 1862. He enlisted in the Union Army under an assumed name so not to embarrass his Southern family. His wife Emma died soon after. It is said that she died from a broken heart. His children, William, Emma, and Claudia, were raised by their aunt and uncle, Susan and James Orrick. Theodore Polar, 1832 to 1901. Immigrated to Burlington, Iowa, and joined his cousin John Blall in a wholesale grocery business. He later moved to Lawrence, Kansas, and established Theodore Polar Mercantile Company. Theodore first married Sophie Noner. He then married Sophie Topp. In 1885, he was elected mayor of Lawrence, Kansas. Gottlieb H. Bicklin immigrated to the United States in 1853 and worked as a common laborer for several years. He then settled in Burlington, Iowa. He saved enough money to open a retail grocery store and then opened the largest wholesale grocery house in Iowa, Bicklin Wines and Company. He married Christina Pauley. They were from the same hometown and immigrated on the same boat. They were members of the Evangelical Zion Church of Burlington, and he was on the board of directors of the Iowa State Savings Bank and vice president of the Burlington Canning Company. William Henley Pendleton, 1858 to 1915. He grew up in Williamsburg, Virginia, being raised by his aunt and uncle, the Oryx. He attended William and Mary College and moved to Lawrence, Kansas in 1877. He married Matilda Poehler, the daughter of Theodore Poehler, and had 6 children. He was active in the Episcopal Church and the Masons. William owned and operated Pendleton Wholesale Produce, Caw Valley Cannery, and Caw Valley Fuel. William Henley Pendleton, Jr., 1886 to 1946. He attended Shattuck Military Academy and was a member of the Crack Squad, a precision rifle drill team. He married Marie Bicklin and operated Caw Valley Cannery and the Caw Valley Fuel, and then later Columbus Foods. He was a director for the Chamber of Commerce, active in the Episcopal Church and the Masonic Lodge. He was a member of Beta Theta Pi at the University of Kansas. Clarence and Frank Higginbottom, 1897 to 1977. Throughout their adult lives, Clarence and Frank Higginbottom successfully combined their talents in various business ventures. Both were employed by the Winfield Wholesale Grocery Company and later were partners in the Higginbottom grocery store. After retirement from the grocery business, the two were partners in the insurance and real estate business. Clarence and Frank each served as members of the Winfield City Commission for several terms, and each was mayor of Winfield on different occasions. E. Helen Pendleton, 1891 to 1989. She was an organist and choir master for more than 70 years. She led the music program at St. John's Church, Cold Spring Harbor, Long Island, New York, St. Mary's Cathedral, Memphis, Tennessee, and St. Mary's by the Sea, Northeast Harbor, Maine. Waldo Bowman, 1900 to 1995. Married Virginia Pendleton, daughter of William Pendleton II. She was named after her father's native state. Waldo was a civil engineer and journalist and was a recipient of the University of Kansas Distinguished Service Citation. He played forward for the 1923 University of Kansas team that won the NCAA National Championship. William Savage Johnson, 1877 to 1942. He was the chairman of the University of Kansas English Department. He was a lifelong friend of George William Russell, the poet A.E., and the William Savage Johnson Memorial Reading Room at KU is named in his honor. His wife, Claudia, donated his large library of rare books to the Spencer Research Library. Barbara Pendleton Gilfillan, 1916 to 2010. One of the first women to work at IBM. She was a member of Phi Beta Kappa and mortarboard at the University of Kansas. She was a member of the League of Women Voters, Sierra Club, and Audubon Society. Bill Pendleton, 1916 to 2015. He was a judge of the Municipal Court of Lawrence from 1959 to 1967. He was very active with the Breakfast Optimist Club and the Ham Radio Club. Bill served as president of the Douglas County Bar Association and received the James Woods Green Medallion from the KU School of Law.
Dorothy Higginbottom Floatman, born in 1924, was elected to the Kansas State House of Representatives from Winfield, Kansas. She was a trustee at Newton William Memorial Hospital and was the first woman inducted to the Winfield Rotary Club. Dorothy's reputation as a state champion twirler followed her throughout her life. She showcased her twirling abilities in the KU Alumni Band, and she was a crowd favorite at the annual Kansas Legislative Talent Show.
Al Pendleton, 1924 to 2014. He was a founding member of the Lawrence Farmers Co-op and the Wakarusa Drainage District. The Lawrence Kiwanis Club awarded Al the Substantial Citizen Award in 1992, and his family received the Kansas 4-H Family of the Year Award in 1982. Loretta Higginbottom Pendleton, 1926 to 2017. She was the first elementary art supervisor in the Lawrence, Kansas Public School District. She was also a founding member of Art in the Park, a celebration of local artists.
for coming to the 2021 Pendleton Family Reunion. We hope that the generations to come will be blessed as we have been. We three Pendleton brothers look forward to watching the newest members of the family tree make their mark in history.